Hi, I'm Clark Smith, and I'm here in Livermore, California, and I'm excited. I'm headed out to the 7th annual PS I Love You Symposium to rub shoulders with the great Petite Sirah makers and their beautiful wines. Kent Rosenblum, I thought you were dead. I thought you sold your soul.
Well, Clark, Easter came and I arose. And here we are.
So what do you got here? This is
a Petite Sirah from the very old vineyard, 110-year-old vineyard up in
no shit.
Mendocino. The Rucker family has about
whereabouts?
acres. It's on the Talmadge Bench, just south of Ukiah.
Yeah.
And just a little swale, and they have these really old vines.
Oh my!
So
this is pretty rockin' stuff.
Yeah, you know, as you tell, the acid is a little up there, which is Mendocino, and the character and the oak still are coming. It's still young. It's still a baby.
Well, I get maraschino cherries from everything that comes out of Mendocino, and this is no exception. It's got plenty of bright red fruit.
Is that in your Manhattans that you get those?
Perhaps.
Occasionally.
Yeah, except I don't get the bourbon part.
Okay.
You haven't exactly over-oaked it or anything.
Right.
But it's pretty open.
Yep.
But still has, you know, some bright minerality, which sometimes would concern me that it would be closed.
Yep.
But this doesn't seem to be. You making this stuff yourself?
Well, my daughter, Shauna, is an official winemaker. And Shauna has a master's in fine arts degree, but started working in the winery when she was 12.
I suppose so.
Yep.
Whose idea was that?
You know, you gotta have conscripted labor when you can.
Yeah. Victor and Beth Edwards. You know, a lot of people have been saying that this is the best petite in the room, and I don't really like to race wine like horses, but you know,
giddy up!
Can I try a little snort here? I sure like this stuff too. Again, you know, pretty wimpy. Boy, oh boy, that sure's got some great aromas to it. So you guys are in, what is it, the Ramona
Valley AVA.
It's real high altitude though, right?
Yeah, it's San Diego County. We're inland, and we're up. We're a high valley.
So south of Temecula?
South of Temecula
by about an hour.
Well, is it the same kind of shtick where you have the ocean breezes coming in?
We do.
So you got your own equivalent of the Rainbow Gap, some kind of...
Oh yeah, we have a gap where we have a couple of gaps actually in our valley, and the onshore drift just comes in and cools everything down. We actually are the easternmost area of the AVA.
How far from the ocean?
We are a good hour's drive.
Oh yeah, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And we're about 20 minutes through the Ramona Valley AVA.
Throughout most of the growing season, the onshore drift will come up.
And it'll just kiss our vineyard, but not really come in, and
it doesn't cover us. It comes up about a half a mile before us, and then it stops.
Well, here's
so we get a little bit of cooling effect, but we don't get the moisture.
Without the moisture in the rock.
Here's the part that I don't understand about this wine is everything you've told me so far, and I'm sure you have really good drainage up where you are, and but this wine is so richly fruity, and the tannins are so fine, and you know they support that fruit, but they don't get in the way at all. So, can you speculate on how much of that is terroir and how much of that is winemaking?
Oh my gosh! Well, I would never give him all the credit because it would go to his head.
So here's Pat Spangler of Spangler Vineyard in Southern Oregon. Whereabouts in Southern Oregon? Are you in the Rogue, or what's the deal?
I'm in the Umpqua.
The Umpqua. Oh, it's been a while.
This comes from the Rogue.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's not quite hot enough at my vineyard site and in the Umpqua to grow Petite Sirah.
Sure.
We grow Cabernet and Syrah, but not.
Okay.
We're plenty hot, but just not quite enough for Petite Sirah.
Got it.
It even takes a specific site for Petite Sirah in the Rogue.
Well, I have to say, when somebody told me there was an Oregon Petite Sirah, I thought you must be quite crazy, and I wasn't expecting much. But oddly enough, can I have a little snort of this here?
Well, I'm a huge Petite Sirah fan, literally ever since I tried Concannon's Petite Sirah.
It's a pity about the color. Look at that son of a gun. Okay, so what I noticed, you know, I was expecting something a little on the wimpy side, especially because what we've seen in California, let's say in the Russian River, is that any place where there's fog, that the tea doesn't color up very well. So I guess you must be in a part of the road where, you know, both the rot problems are not really there, and you don't have so much fog.
Correct. This particular vineyard site, it took me 3 years to convince the growers to graft it over to Petite.
Saw was a lot of longevity potential here, and I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting this much tannin or this much depth. Jeff Miller.
Hi.
Okay, so here we got 7 artisans. Who are these 7 guys? Or are they multi-gender?
Actually, it's based on the 7 different types of people that are necessary to make a wine company. Suisun Valley, which most people don't know about. It's east and south of Napa. It's a wonderful growing region.
You know, you're kind of fog-free there, and that's very good for color.
But for some reason, all the Petite Nor Valley seems to be uniformly excellent.
Well, look at that color, man. That's a shame. Look at that. And I get a lot of black fruit out of this.
A lot of black fruit, a lot of dark fruit.
Yeah, cassis, and you know, not even plum. You know, it's
fairly tannic, though not as tannic as it was even a short while ago.
So now I'm talking to Barbara Snider here with an I, and this is Fortress Vineyards here in the Red Hills. So that's high altitude Lake County, right?
High altitude Lake County.
And again, just terrible color there. You can hardly distinguish it from a white wine. But this is so different than the Suisun in that this is really bright red fruit.
And I think it's the terroir that we have. We
Yeah,
have
I
a very
agree.
high altitude mountain vineyard. We start at 2,000 feet and go up to 2,400 feet.
So is that decomposed granite up there, or what is it?
It's red, volcanic, rocky, gravelly soil.
Yeah.
And the grapes struggle because of the altitude, because of the soil. We get a direct wind from the lake every day that keeps the fruit very balanced. So while the sugar comes up, the acidity remains.
Alex Zabayo?
Zabo.
Zabo. So
Zabo, that's Hungarian.
tiny little bit of color there.
Yeah, I don't use any enzymes, and it's all the grapes are 100% my vineyard, which I planted. I won Environmentalist and Conservationist of the Year award.
Did you?
Yeah.
So,
and which is pretty amazing because I'm all hillside mountain.
It's a Sierra Foothills appellation.
I have to use the Sierra Foothills appellation.
There's no smaller appellation up there?
No, well, it's actually called the Northern Sierra Foothills appellation.
Well, let me get a little shot of the bottle here.
Okay, please.
Pretty little apple. So I'm just gonna.
Oh, I did. I just had.
I'm gonna make a wild ass prediction that you got a lot of minerality in this one.
Well, I don't know. You tell me. She just most recently took gold at Sacramento.
Very energetic in the finish.
Well,
and
yeah, and this is right near Granite Springs, right? Is this?
No, Granite Springs, El Dorado County. I'm in
he's saying
Nevada County. Yeah, we're slightly different.
He's saying that the soil is, you know, bigger chunks. I guess you could say a little more like schist than you know, small particle.
Oh,
but
yeah,
but the other thing,
do you like that, Ken?
I love it.
Thank you.
See what I get.
You know, I mean, she's 100% petite, no blending with it, no enzymes with it. One of the things that's kind of nice is she's my first vintage out of my vineyard, which speaks to me volumes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm counting on, you know, a little bit of this, but it speaks volumes in saying, like, if this is your first vintage and you're not playing with it,
right,
then I've got hopefully a nice future.